G'day guys, Big V Podcast. We're talking about our Youth League 2 women here, and we're specifically going to target and discuss sort of the importance and value that some of these players that come off the bench add to some of these teams. Now, it is a shorter conference and they play each other quite regularly, so they do sort of get an understanding of what each teams are like, but that doesn't really matter when you come off the bench. You've got to add value.
Yeah, the spark off the bench is so important, Ted, and as these teams gear up, as the season gets a little bit further on for finals, the depth and the spark off the bench is just absolutely vital.
Absolutely. And we'll dive into it straight away because why not? We'll talk about Bellarine first. Now, they made the grand final and they finished, they were just shy really. And now they've unfortunately lost one of their best players of Carly Sanders. But now, they're still quite deep. They got Sophie Tattersall coming off the bench at the moment.
Yeah, Sophie Tattersall has been really good for them this year. For a team that has their consistent starters, with Copeland and Fields, and they're logging big minutes. It's really important that someone like Tattersall comes off the bench for 20 minutes a game. And she's been averaging close to 7 points a game, including some big games against Sherbrooke with 14 points and 5 assists.
Yeah.
And Blackburn, 13 points and 3 steals. So, what an absolute luxury for the coach to have, to be able to trust Sophie to come on come off the bench and just get it done.
Absolutely. Now, we'll move on quickly because there's quite a few of them to talk about here. We've got Isabella Ryan from Whittlesea, who's their top scorer, averaging 13 points per game. She has started twice.
Yeah. Out of 8. I find this one really interesting to look at, Ted, because as an outsider looking in, not fully understanding, obviously, the team dynamics and chemistries and all that sort of stuff. But they got their first and third best scorers, and fourth, actually, all coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So they've potentially got more points coming from their bench than they do, led by Isabella Ryan with her 13 points a game. And, she's had some big games, but I think consistency has been her thing. And they're sitting 4-4. So they've lost those 4 games and they've got a scoring punch.
Yeah.
Does something have to change?
Yeah. Is it an adjustment in the second half of the season where they can sort of make that run moving into the finals?
Yeah, I mean, when you got your leading scorer only getting 28 minutes, she might be looking for a bit more, as would Indiana Bodley, who's averaging close to 12 points a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Mornington as well, another team that are making a run for that finals. They're 4-3 at the moment and sitting quite comfortably at third. But we've got, I hope we say it right. Is it
Kiana Katramados?
I think you did right.
It wasn't too bad. I think I don't mind the European surname, Katramados.
I can read that. It's 13 points a game.
13 points a game. Has only started in the 1. Come off the bench in 6, and she's only playing 20 to 21 minutes a game. To get 13 points in that time is really impressive. She doesn't mind shooting the 3 ball, but geez, does she get on the line?
She get on the line. 46 attempts.
46 attempts from the free throw line. She's averaging just under 7 attempts a game, but shooting a great clip at 85%.
Yeah, it's impressive.
That's really impressive, and obviously, putting that sort of pressure on the opposition and at the rim is paying dividends.
Absolutely. Now, we'll touch on a player from Sherbrooke. We'll talk about, it is her name here. No, we're not. We're talking about players. Sorry.
Well, that's okay, Ted.
Keep going.
You're trying to read my handwriting and understand. I cannot write very well. But the thing which we wanted to note with Sherbrooke was the fact that they're very reliant on their starters.
Yep.
It's their starters. You look through their statistics. Their starters play some pretty good minutes and are the ones averaging all the points. So they're probably looking towards trying to get that next crop off the bench. They need to try and find that spark and who that might be. If they want to try and turn their season around, it's probably going to be pretty important. And, you also look at sides like Albury and Western Port. They're fairly similar. They rely on those people who are getting them the starts. Albury's a little bit different because their roster changes a fair bit week to week.
Yeah.
I think. But, yeah, I think some of those teams we start to think, who can be that spark off the bench? Do we need to shuffle a starter off the bench just to make sure our second unit can get the job done as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you think, guys. We'll catch you soon.